Analysis now from Talha Kose. He's an associate professor of political science and international relations at Haldun University. He joins me from here in Istanbul. Professor, I'd like to hear your thoughts on this meeting between Erdogan and Putin, and how critical do you think it is for the two to continue a dialogue while most other Western nations have tried to isolate the Russian president?
I think the one aspect is relations between Turkey and Russia. So it is going in a very positive direction. Cooperation in the energy sector is strengthening, and Turkey is offering some third-party roles to de-escalate the situation between Ukraine and Russia. And there are also some joint understanding on some other regional issues. So there's a progress in bilateral relations between Moscow and Ankara. However, there is also increasing criticism from EU countries and US to strengthen these ties. So definitely, in order to increase their ties, I think Turkey should also play a role to de-escalate the situation in Ukraine and Russia situation. So I think there will be debates, discussions on security, joint security issues, energy issues, but Ukraine will definitely be on the table in order to improve the ties in the coming days and weeks. So far, Turkey have achieved certain diplomatic success to, achieve a grain deal, and UN was part of this deal. And I think there is an ongoing, so as the Russian president offered actually another proposal to pass, passage of and the transit of the energy from over Turkey. I think that's a very concrete offer, which may also help reduce the tension in Europe, especially about the availability and the price of the gas and energy. So this is a very important. I think the Europeans will be following the development on this offer as the Turkish people as well.
Yeah, certainly at the forefront of everyone's minds as we head into winter, the energy concerns in Europe. Turkey has been trying to mediate a ceasefire between Ukraine and Russia since the beginning of the war. Do you think that that can still be possible?
I mean, I don't see a possibility in the short term. I mean, as we know that Turkey helped the grain deal, helped this prisoner exchange, and there are certain efforts because last week the situation escalated further by the bombing of the Kerch Bridge and also bombing of the critical infrastructure in Kiev and other places in Ukraine. So I think the best bet should be to keep, escalation to a certain extent and de-escalate the situation by giving positive messages from the both sides. So my expectations for the moment is not the ceasefire in the short term, but de-escalate the situation by giving positive messages. And we see those messages from the Russian president and their willingness to accept Turkey's constructive third-party roles. But on the other hand, in the field, we see increasing military activity. So if we keep the escalation at this level and if both sides give some positive signals, I think in order to give the positive signals, they also have to contact with each other through a third party. So I think what may be the concessions at this moment is discussed and debate. I think that's very important, and President Erdogan is playing that role.
Turkey really is in a unique position in that it has good relations with both Ukraine and Russia, but how can it continue to balance those relationships as this war continues so that it can act as a mediator when the time comes?
Well, I mean, Turkey's commitment to NATO and support for Ukraine is clear. And I think there's a clear strategic cooperation, including the military side. But on the other hand, everybody knows that every war ends with some diplomatic deal. And Russian president also knows that, keeping some open space for diplomacy is very important. So there is a pressure on Turkey, especially Europeans actors, want Turkey to take a more specific role, but behind the doors, I think they also want to have an open space for a solution, a resolution of this issue, which cannot be sustained. I mean, in terms of economy, in terms of security challenges, and possible use of tactical nuclear weapons or some other weapons is a dangerous situation. So on the one hand, they try to put a pressure on Turkey to take a side, but on the other hand, I think they seem to be happy about Turkey taking some diplomatic initiatives to reduce the tension or de-escalate this situation. So it is very difficult and delicate situation to play this role. But I think so far Turkey, with the experience of Turkey's President Erdogan, is playing this role successfully.
All right, we'll leave it there. Associate Professor Talha Kose joining us from Istanbul. Thank you.